Good evening. Borderfield State Park closes at sundown, and just before it, some folks made a dash for the U.S. border from the other side.
Oh, they crossed the wall! They crossed the border! They crossed the border! Chat, they crossed the border!
A run for the border caught on camera.
It's crazy. I didn't know this was going to happen on live stream.
Video shows groups of migrants breach the wall.
I see all these caravan members. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And they all gather around.
YouTuber Andy Martin was live streaming in Tijuana Thursday afternoon when it all went down.
And they all have like a scissor, and they start like cutting the fence thing off. I'm like, wait, what's going on?
Mexican Andy, as he's known online, says it was shocking to witness.
And then they cut it, and people just start running. I'm like, why are these guys running for? Come on! It looked painful because like one of them were like overweight, so one of them actually managed to get in. I'm like, oh, that's gotta hurt. And they ran. Like, wow, they're all just running.
Martin says the lone agent at the fence could only do so much before radioing for support.
I think it did overwhelm. I mean, they couldn't do anything. But then the Border Patrol had to call for backup, and they had like all budget like 3 ATVs or whatever they're called. They have those. I think they stopped all of them.
Border Patrol says 2 separate groups rushed the border at the same time Thursday. Agents arrested 53 people and do not believe anyone got away.
New information now on a high-rise stunt. A teenager pulled away resources, risked the lives of officers, and blocked traffic for hours while illegally climbing the Queensboro Bridge. CBS 2's Corey James live on the east side tonight with more. Corey.
And Maurice, that teenager said he was not trying to hurt himself. He simply just wanted to go viral, and now doing just that could cause him to spend some time in jail. The 17-year-old started on the ground but climbed his way into trouble, scaling the Ed Koch Queensboro Bridge, all on a social media app as thousands of viewers watched and paid him money, encouraging the teen to continue his daring venture in the air.
We heard the ambulance, we saw the emergency truck.
Denise Monahan spotted first responders racing to the teen, who managed to stay several feet above police for over an hour. This happening on a dangerous weather day filled with thick fog.
I didn't think anybody would be jumping over the bridge.
But someone was staying on top of it. The risky act creating a messy traffic jam during rush hour, leaving this Connecticut mom and many others frustrated in their cars.
Super frustrating. I'm a wife and I have kids, and it does take a while to get home.
Why are he doing that? Another day in New York.
This is not the first time a climber flirted with danger. Just last week, a man was rescued after using the diagonal pillars to go up the New York Times building in Midtown.
We must hold them accountable.
Back in 2016, Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams proposed this bill along with other lawmakers, hoping to increase the penalty by making a person guilty of criminal trespassing in the second degree when he or she knowingly climbs critical infrastructures like a building or bridge. It passed the Senate, but not the Assembly.
We're hoping that it's reintroduced, and hopefully we could have an Assembly sponsor. It would send the right message that we are not going to allow people, for their own joy and kicks, put people in harm's way.
An initiative that would also protect officers called to climb high and risk their lives to take down those causing preventable emergencies. And we reached out to Prism Live, which is the platform the teen used to make tips from viewers, to see if there is a policy banning that kind of activity or a way to disable the payment feature when the app is being incorrectly used. But a spokesperson just got back to me minutes ago and said they cannot block users from using streaming services like YouTube or Twitch if it does not violate that hosting site's policies. Now, meantime, that 17-year-old, he was taken to the hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. He has not been arrested, but could potentially face criminal trespassing charges. We're live on the east side. Corey James, CBS 2 News.
Okay, Corey, thank you.
Not wanting to answer any questions. And remember this confrontation? It turns out the guy who went after our producer is a popular live streamer that goes by the name Hampton Brandon. He's most famous for this YouTube video of him running from a confrontation in Hollywood and then getting hit by a car. It's unclear what his connection is to Old School or its security guards, but we do know this. Despite the arrests of its owners, Old School is still up and running.
After he and his employee were harassed and physically assaulted, now he wants others to be on the lookout for this live streamer and YouTuber.
We cannot record here.
When this 76-year-old employee told 2 guys who came into the jewelry store to stop rolling, the man in the sunglasses had this response.
Yeah, don't touch me. I love you.
The man in the sunglasses is known as Hampton Brandon, a live streamer and YouTuber who went into the jeweler's loft in downtown LA last Wednesday with another man who was live streaming the whole thing. Owner Shai Chazen heard the commotion and came out to tell them to leave.
On the way out of the door, one of them just punched the older employee in the belly, and the other guy scratched him with something that they held in the hand on the back of his head.
As the man who was holding the phone punched the employee, he dropped the phone, which the employee was able to pick up as Shai got the two men out the door.
Started all of this. You started all of this. Yes. Yes. Smile.
Shai recorded on his cell phone as he went back and forth with Brandon, who at one point asks, "Can I have my phone back?"
YouTube video on my expense? I said bye, bye.
Brandon and the other man took off before police got there, but LAPD officers took a battery report and they now have Brandon's phone.
Later, this video was uploaded to YouTube, and we saw how much hate, like, in the live streaming, during the live streaming, the comment against Jewish, hundreds of life-threatening calls.
As police investigate, Shai wants to expose what's going on before someone else becomes a victim.
He harasses women, he harasses people by race, black people, Asian people, Jewish people, whatever brings him content, like a little coward. He's not a real man.
We reached out to Hampton Brandon for comment via Facebook and email, but we haven't heard back. Reporting live tonight in downtown LA, Rachel Kim, KCAL 9 News.
So you go by Asian Andy. Do you want to give your real name, or do you want us to use that name?
I go by Asian Andy, yeah.
A YouTube star who calls himself Asian Andy is famous for his outrageous comedy. Well, his fans pay to post whatever they want, and Andy plays the remarks in public. But tonight, critics say a recent session went way too far and was highly offensive to Jewish people. KCAL 9's Crystal Cruz has a story for us tonight. Crystal.
Hi, Susie. It all started in a rideshare. Asian Andy got into a car, and the rideshare driver did not like what was going on. He kicked him out, and tonight we're hearing from both the driver and what Asian Andy has to say about the whole thing.
I'm pretty sure the Holocaust never happened. Why do we always hear about it?
When YouTube star Asian Andy live streamed viewer comments from a speaker during a ride share, it didn't go over well with the driver.
Hitler did nothing wrong.
Get out of my car. All right, sir. Have a good day.
Rideshare driver Aaron Wyrick is Jewish.
All Jews are my family, and my family lost 6.5 million people in the Holocaust. And I have a good sense of humor, but when you talk about slavery, you talk about the Holocaust, things like that, I simply can't. I can't stand for that, so he had to go.
Asian Andy's YouTube channel has more than 30 million views and says it isn't meant to be hateful, but it's filled with outrageous stunts and comments viewers pay to post that many may find offensive.
It's more of like just playing on the outrageousness of the circumstances.
Andy says he understands why Aaron got upset.
Oh, 100%, yeah. It's 100% understandable, and I sympathize with him.
People that want to forget this, people that want to make light of this, this is how it's going to happen again.
And for the driver, he would like Asian Andy to publicly apologize.
A restaurant on South Claiborne Avenue is where this live stream ended. But the owner says you have to go to the beginning to understand why he felt it necessary to slam a camera on the ground.
I mean, I'm in New Orleans and you get one of some.
This man, who goes by the name IcePoseidon, is an internet gamer who streams his live experiences wherever he visits.
We're at the MGM Grand, just in case if you wanted to know. So.
Oftentimes bringing his live stream inside establishments.
Can I buy this?
Last Thursday, he live streamed in New Orleans, walking the streets and going inside several places, none of which caused an issue, until he told his followers where he was headed. While en route to the restaurant, someone watching live posted in the comments section saying, "I told him that Paul Danino was coming, and he's a threat." The store owner says 15 minutes before the live streamer showed up, someone called his business, warning him about a man planning to shoot people while live streaming. Coming off the events in Cleveland, where a man killed another man on video and then posted it to Facebook, the store owner, who declined to talk on camera, says he wasn't taking any chances.
Get out here. Right now. Okay.
Fox 8 legal analyst Joe Raspani says no matter the circumstances, it still doesn't give the store owner the right to break a camera.
The other person allegedly calling up and telling this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't seem like the guy reacted in that way anyway. He just told the guy, turn your camera off, which he had a right to do, but then I think he went too far and that allegedly he broke his camera. So that's going past the line.
A man who dressed up as a joker online is now in custody of the feds. The FBI snagging him in a raid. On social media, he uses racial slurs and seems to sympathize with the Proud Boys. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Nesbro.
And I'm Jawan Strader. Good evening. NBC6 reporter Alyssa Hyman is live in Fort Lauderdale with more on his background and why he was arrested. Alyssa.
Well, Paul Miller is expected to appear in federal court tomorrow. As you mentioned, his social media footprint paints him as a far right-wing enthusiast, often known for his racist and anti-Semitic pranks online. Now, this morning, he was arrested for possessing a gun in 2018 as a convicted felon. But we do know that the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is on the case.
Neighbors gave us this cell phone video showing the FBI raiding the Fort Lauderdale home of 32-year-old Paul Miller Tuesday morning. Neighbors in the area waking up to the chaos.
We got woken up about 6 a.m. with loud banging, sounded like flashbangs.
According to court documents, Miller is a convicted felon and was wanted for being in possession of a firearm in Broward County 3 years ago. The FBI confirmed its Joint Terrorism Task Force is involved, but it's still not clear why. We do know Miller is well known online for being a right-wing enthusiast. In fact, the ADL's Center on Extremism featured him in an article from November calling Miller a Florida-based white supremacist from New Jersey, who they say would harass social media users with offensive racial slurs and jokes, often dressed as the Joker. Others seeming to share those videos all over YouTube. Following the raid, the ADL tweeted that it had shared significant intelligence with federal law enforcement before Tuesday's arrest. The landlord of the home told us his son had rented the place to Miller, who had just moved down from the Northeast on February 1st.
He moved down from New Jersey. I'm shocked. I'm shocked because for the last 12, 13 years, nothing like this has ever happened.
Now, neighbors tell us that Miller mostly kept to himself and that they say they saw FBI agents taking guns out of the house, too. Now, the FBI in a statement told us that this investigation continues. For now, we're live in Fort Lauderdale. Alyssa Hyman, NBC6 News.